Hi guys, this is my small vlog because we're going to Italy, Bologna. I'm super excited, but there's always a but. We wanted to go on a vacation this year and we were saving a lot of money for that to happen. Not a lot, but just like some amount of money. And first trip didn't go well because we didn't get a visa. We didn't get an appointment to a visa center because I'm from Russia. If you're new to my channel, and it's really hard to get an appointment in a friend's visa center. We had to get back the tickets. We lost a lot of money, and then we wanted to go in a little bit different direction. We booked an appointment in Italian center, visa center, and we actually purchased tickets and we booked the apartment because they required this information. So the appointment was booked in early May, but we were able to get the documents to the center only on 16th of June. And then we actually missed all the deadlines because of the consulate, the general consulate. They didn't issue a visa in time, and the flight was meant to be on the 30th of July. But unfortunately, they issued visa only on the 7th of August. Thank God my husband had vacation 3 weeks, has 3 weeks of vacation. That's why we were able to exchange tickets because we wanted to go to Rome for 6 days and then for 6 additional days go to France, Marseille, and then Avignon. But unfortunately, we had to again get back the tickets and booking. We lost more money, and this is a final shot because we actually finally purchased tickets like the last minute because we got visa this Thursday. Literally this Thursday the visa was ready at the evening, but they issued this the way that we can use this visa only on the 11th of August, so since Monday. That's why we're going at night, and then hopefully we're going to be in Bologna around 2:30, something like that. I'm gonna show you everything, guys. Everything is pre-packed. Some of the stuff, we have another one luggage, and yeah, we're living the cat for a week, so yeah, it's a pity, but we're excited. And our vacation has officially started. I wanted to show you this beauty of a night city. This is Moscow City, by the way, and we're going to Vnukovo Airport. Now we were in the air and I showed you a glimpse of Moscow, a glimpse of Istanbul, and this is a professional photographer called my husband who's taking my photos. And then here I am in Italy, showing you guys myself. Guys, this is the apartment that we're staying in. It's really nice and clean from booking in Italy. We've just arrived. And not bad. Really not bad. We officially have arrived to Bologna. It's such a beautiful city. And I would say it's not as much people as in Rome, which is great. This was our first day in Italy, and I was shocked when we realized the only place we could convert the currency, and we had only dollars. We didn't have any credit card because of, I told you guys, because we're from Russia. So this was a huge problem because they had only 2 points where you could do the exchange, and it was at the airport and train station. Not a single bank was able to do that, only for the citizens, or at least Italians. And we were literally pissed because that was the main reason why we couldn't find any place. And they took 20% for the exchange procedure each time. From 12 to I guess 15 or 17 euros. This was a tax, and at the airport they took additional 5 euros for something, and that was the least favorable, I guess, currency exchange rate that they could possibly pull off. That was the main reason why we literally gifted them so much money. I mean, I guess this is a theme of 2025, us losing money, because this is actually not okay. And a lot of other, I guess, foreigners, they were complaining that when they had to take the tax for staying in the city, they were actually made to go and exchange money because the only way to pay was through currency and, just like money. And yeah, that was a huge bummer. That's why we had to save money and do not spend this as much as we wanted to. But anyways, every single place was closed. Every single restaurant was closed. We went during August, and August, the time where you just can't find a great place to stay, only for tourists, and they're all
on vacation. We went to this nearest park because it was the first day. We were super tired and it was peaceful, very beautiful. I love the town, as I mentioned this earlier. I think this town is one of the, I guess, beautifulest the prettiest, I guess, towns that I've seen. I love the architecture. I guess Italy is one of the countries that has beautiful architecture. You can see us walking in the park. You can see us walking around the city. It's pretty similar. It's really small. The cathedrals, churches were incredible. I mean, for such a small town, that was a masterpiece from my point of view. That was day 2 when we were able to finally go and see the town ourselves. That was the main reason why I guess I wanted to film as much as possible, but I didn't really want to bore you guys with so much information that I had like the footage, because every single house was unique. From the right side, you can see a library, and I'm going to show you this later. Then a fountain, that was a Neptune fountain. And a little bit on the back further, there was a cathedral, the greatest cathedral that was not finished. And I'm going to show it a little bit later, but that was impressive. I mean, for, I guess, 15th century, that was impressive how people were able to do that. Now we're finally in the library. My husband was trying to film the entire scene, and it showed some cinemas, or it's probably showing some old cinemas, and it's really, really, really pretty, guys. We had the best time staying there and finding ourselves under conditioners because our conditioner did not work, but later on that. The cathedral that you can see, this is the greatest one that I mentioned earlier. The only way you can get there is to cover your shoulders and your knees, and they actually sell some ropes and kind of ropes for €1 per person. And I was fascinated when I realized that they still believed in astrology in cathedrals, which was amazing because they had every single sign, astrological sign, engraved, I guess, in floors. And they started from June, late June, Cancer, and ended with Capricorn in December. They started from the beginning, like late June and late December for Capricorn. Again, then they had some very beautiful, I guess this is some sort of pictures made of stone of Adam and Eve, of how people were kind of like procreating and learning and fighting, having wars. That was interesting to see the perspective of artists. And here we are in another library. The main events were, I guess, built into this library as well, and we didn't get inside because we didn't really need to. Why do we need to get to the library? But that was really pretty. And every single building has this arcs to hide from sun or to hide from winds and rain. That was smart. Finally, we were able to get to Margaret's gardens. I loved it. It was nice, but just a regular garden that was big. We wanted to come back, but still we had to see so many more places. That was the main reason why this was the only time we were able to get to these gardens. Finally, we were moving back to the center of the city. That was a peaceful place where a lot of, I guess, people were living. They do have metro stations, but it's not really useful because the town is so tiny and small that you can easily travel with your bus or by foot. I would say the coffee was amazing. My husband really loved it. I'm not a coffee drinker, but still my husband fell in love with coffee. And that was basically day 3 of us exploring the city from the left side of the city. So we went straight to the center, and then we were just kind of like walking around. And that was our dinner at a restaurant that we had half of pizza because we couldn't, and we had a dessert later. Day 4 of our vacation. Now we are in Bologna. It's some sort of second part of Bologna, and you can see a lot of trash cans, a lot of closed restaurants and shops. So yeah, it wasn't even interesting. That was a modern, I guess, commune city where people live and enjoy their life. It's more modern than the Bologna itself.
Guys, I finally have a little bit of time to share my thoughts about Italy. First and foremost, we purchased watermelon. This one is super viral. It went viral, I guess, a couple of weeks ago when you have super dark green watermelon, the small option. And it's a little bit different from the original one, where the one that we actually purchased over and over again. And it's delicious. And it's kind of sweet, but it's not extremely sweet. I guess I prefer the original option, but this one is really interesting as well. It doesn't have a lot of seeds as the original. The apartment is not really bad. The only problem, and I would say that is a huge problem, that all the conditioners are not working. The only air conditioner that we have, let me show you guys. This is the only one that is working, but we have to open the window to make sure that it can get a little bit of cool or even warm air, and then it's gonna kind of like freeze it. This air conditioner doesn't work. You can tell that it has some weird problem with this. And another one in a different room doesn't work either. So that is a huge problem. And the hack that we've been doing for a long period of time, you can see this is my t-shirt. And actually I wet it every single time before I go to bed. I wet 2 of my t-shirts. The first one I put on, soaking wet. The second one I put on as well, but over my legs. And this is the only way I can sleep. Actually, it's 35 degrees Celsius, 80 something degrees Fahrenheit, which is crazy. I just can't go around the city this way. So every single time I go out, first and foremost, you can tell that I don't really wear a lot of makeup. I have sun cream, I have mascara, and I do my brows. About the products, I really love Italian products. They're super delicious, and it's easy to find whatever you need in the stores. I mean, it's not bad. It's really good. The architecture is amazing. Fascinating, super pretty, but the town is super small. It's tiny. I mean, we could probably spend 3 days here and know the entire city. I mean, I'm not kidding. We walked from one point of the city to like across the town, and it took us maybe 2 hours to get from one point of town to the other point of town. You can get the math that it's just super, super tiny town, but people are really good. They're super nice. They're super chatty. A lot of Italians, they look great. Is it a city that I would probably stay in and live forever? Maybe not. I would prefer maybe France over Italy, just because, I don't know, I just love friends. And I don't know, just like I really like friends. By the way, I totally forgot to mention that before I go out, we start the day around maybe 10 a.m. And by 2 or 3 p.m., we're back in the apartment because it's extremely hot up until 6 p.m. or even 7 p.m. What I do, I wet all of my clothes. Literally wet them, and I walk in the wet clothes. So if you're super scared of some heat, your health is not okay with high temperatures, the best way, guys, is to wet your clothes. And who cares? I mean, literally in 2 hours, I'm dry. All of my clothes is dry. So I go to nearest fountain, not even fountain, but nearest place with water, and I just get this over my body as well. This is my tip in case you're interested. Okay guys, it's Thursday and we're about to head out to a restaurant, and that is a nice restaurant. I'm probably going to be showing you the view later, and that's what I'm wearing today, my mini black dress.
And finally, this was day 5 when I was walking around the city. That was my pet peeve. A lot of graffitis, and I didn't really like it because they ruined the, I guess, style and charm of the city, and especially these buildings. They're over, I guess, 400-500 years, and people are so disrespectful with their graffitis, and especially some weird graffitis. So it's not even beautiful. I was disgusted. Then we had a lot of fun eating some sandwiches and, you know, some pasta later. I didn't actually like carbonara pasta. It was too much. I love it with heavy cream. If Italians are going to kill me, I mean, I'm sorry, but I do love heavy cream pasta. It was a little bit raw. I know this was a correct way to cook it, but it was too much Parmesan cheese, too raw, and I was needing some heavy cream. And when I was almost back to the city, like we were going back, I had the worst rush because of some pill that I took and probably allergic reaction. I had fever and was the worst, I guess, travel back. And then later I saw how the package was handled in Istanbul. It was crazy, guys. Literally, I was afraid because we had 4 bottles of wine and some other stuff with us. That was really scary to see the Istanbul carriers to do this with the luggage. That was our vacation. I hope you enjoyed my small talk with you guys, small sightseeings, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you all, guys. Bye-bye.